7 little days until FF15, aka 1 week. Oh my goodness, hope you're all holding in there, peasants. I'm really not at this point. I'm off to London in a couple of hours, wish me luck, hopefully something dope comes out of it. But let's continue our countdown. So 7 days, day 7, Final Fantasy VII, of course the biggest Easter egg from that game is Diamond Weapon, aka known as Demons in Kingsglaive. There are many of them. Now that is the biggest one. This isn't quite as big, but I do consider it a 7 Easter egg. It is this king here, and we know it's a king, we know it's a Lucii, but the fact that its design is so similar to Ruby Weapon, I mean, it's uncanny. It just cannot be not based on Ruby Weapon, and the question remains, why did Square Enix do that? Was it a bit of trolling? They released it around the time they released Diamond Weapon. Were they trying to confuse us? Were they trying to get discussions going? I think that's exactly what they were trying to do. 7GB is the size of the patch that will be coming with FF15. It is dubbed the Crown Update, and looking at what comes with this patch, it does seem well worth it. The improvements are considerable and some very interesting elements in there. So going through them quickly, camera improvements that will make it easier to track action in narrow areas. That is a huge one. When spaces got confined, it could get very messy. We saw it with the Titan fight especially. The camera would go absolutely blitz and it would be very messy to see what was going on. So that's good that they're improving that. The next one is the wait mode function. That's actually going to get an ability tree for more in-depth strategic elements. So those who love turn-based combat, perhaps I'll be interested to see how that plays out, to see if that does cater more to the turn-based combat fans. The next is a monster whistle that can be used to call out monsters. New event scenes from Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy XV Omen trailer, they will be added. So the Omen trailer is in there. That must mean surely that story elements from Omen must still apply to FF15. Surely. I did say that I thought it did, and this seems to support that. Next up is recipes and fish varieties, as well as a gallery that will be added for players who enjoy collecting stuff. And finally, number 7 is the social network function that's going to be added, which allows players to upload Prompto's photographs to Facebook and Twitter. And quickly going on that, guys, I've said I'm going to host a Final Fantasy Peasant photography competition. So whoever gets the best photos, there's going to be prizes. I might do first, second and third. We can make a collage, a montage, and whoever submits the best pictures from 15 will get a present. I think that'd be pretty dope. It's the official number of titles in the Final Fantasy XV universe. So going in order, the Platinum demo is 1, Final Fantasy XV the actual game is 2, Brotherhood is 3, Kingsglaive is 4, Justice Monsters 5 is 5, A King's Tale is 6, and A King's Knight is 7. Now some of you might be wondering why, if the Platinum demo is a part of the universe, why doesn't episode Dusky? Well, they said that episode Dusky is actually part of the 15 game, whereas the Platinum demo it's not an accessible part of the main game, but it is a canonical prologue. So I just wanted to clear that up for people who might be curious. So there are 7 main titles in the FF15 universe. The skill tree, officially known as the Ascension grid in Final Fantasy XV, it's been described as being similar to the Sphere grid from 10 and the Crystarium system from 13. Now, the reason why it's on day 7 is if you look at the top, you can see 7 logos. That's because this tree or this grid is being divided into 7 key channels. Now those channels are combat, exploration, techniques, teamwork, magic, stats and recovery, and this is a super dope aspect of this game. So you're going to have to choose which tree you go down. Do you go down recovery and working on getting your heals and playing it the safe game? Do you work with your team? Do you work in combat? That gives you some of the air step abilities which look really dope. That's probably the tree I'm going to prioritize. As cliche as it sounds, the air stepping just looks too dope not to go down. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be picking up. But it's very clear from looking at this tree that depending on which path you go, it's going to greatly change how each of our combat systems are going to work for us. So it's really going to be very customizable to your play style, to how you want to approach the game. But just for the fun of it, because I think this will be the most under-level tree, or the people won't appreciate, and that's the exploration tree. I can totally see this being kind of ignored. The exploration tree has some really cool aspects. Just to give you a flavour, it has happy camping, which increases your AP gain from camping, fittest survival, road running. There's road running and there's choco bump, which basically you actually gain AP while you're in the regalia or while you're traveling on a chocobo. There's choco jockey, where you gain more experience for winning races. There's snapshot, where you can take photos in battle. That's actually an ability. There's angler action. There's sport fishing, lingering aftertaste. That kind of stuff increases the amount that you get from your food buffs, how long they last. I could see this being a really underappreciated tree. It's the average score that Final Fantasy XV Kingsglaive gets on most review websites from the audience, like Metacritic, as well as a few others. Now, would I give it higher than a 7? Yeah, I'd give it an 8, maybe an 8.5, depending on where the moon was in the sky that night, but what do I know? I'm just a blinded FF fanboy. Now, I could have done this for day 8, but I decided to save it for today, and that is 7th generation gaming hardware is originally what Final Fantasy XV started its life on, and that engine was of course called Crystal Tools. It has now moved on to the company's 8th engine, which is called Luminous engine, and the differences between the 7th and 8th generation, the mind boggles at it. So Luminous engine, for anyone who doesn't know, that bad boy on Final Fantasy XV alone will be pushing 5 million polygons per frame. That is pushing 150 million polygons per second, and that is literally the highest known polygon count for any game in history. Just to put in perspective how incredible that is, each character model will be using in 15 20 to 30,000 polygons just for their hair alone, and that is more than any other video game, and it's the same polygon count for an entire FF13 character. Holy hell, that is crazy. Some other facts to get your mind whirring: each character will have over 600 bones, which is 12 times more than pretty much any PS3 game ever made, which only ever reached about 50 bones, and it's about triple any game there's around today. Not only that, there's so many other features I can't even begin to delve into. For example, the efficient lighting technique that is capable of performing over 200 million rays per second on the GeForce GTX 580 graphics card. Long story short, guys, even though Square Enix did have to shave off a wee bit of the graphical intensity on this game, which they did ever so slightly, this game is still the absolute dog's bollocks when it comes to graphics, and it's pretty much trumping any other game out on the market. Oh goddamn. Windows 7 got this FF15 wallpaper theme, and our final segment for day 7 is 700 million US dollars is the optimistic earnings that Square Enix, or the gross revenue that will be achieved from 15 if they do reach their 10 million goal. Remember, I spoke about their 10 million sales target and how it wouldn't be a sync situation. Well, here's a far more comprehensive chart of that was actually put up by Square Enix. Pessimistic, realistic and optimistic. Optimistic is the 10 million sales. They are going to hit 8 million. I think that's well within the boundaries. And this is first year sales, so first 12 months. And if they do hit their 10 mil target, it will be about $400 million estimated earnings for Square Enix. Now, the wildcard factor in this chart, and that they've identified as a wildcard, is, dare I say it guys, the PC port. It is rumoured that that could be happening within 12 months. Square Enix did say that it's something they're thinking about, something they would like to do, but it would be a lot of work. But it's definitely on the radar. What do I think? 100% is happening, and their estimations are that if they brought it to PC, it would benefit a further 1 million unit sales for Final Fantasy 15, which would be a nice chunky wonky profit, would lead into the 7 remake, get us FF16, get us 17, get us the 8 remake, and we'll have Crisis Quartz and Type Next and Tama plushies and FF18 and Ignis's best waifu, and we'll all live happily ever after. Okay, I made that bit up at the end, but you get the gist. So that's day 7, guys. I am literally running out of time. Oh goddamn, I'm looking at the clock. I have got to be getting ready for London, so I'm gonna round this video out. The countdown's happening, 1 week to go. Tune in for day 6 tomorrow. Go check out 8, 9 and 10, learn all kinds of random shit about 15. Until the next video, peasants, Kupo!